In this video, I'm going to cover 2 mistakes I made as an intermediate Maffetoner, and I'm going to include 2 pro tips. Now I know what you're thinking. Intermediate? There are levels to this shit? Well, not exactly. There is no arbitrary amount of time you spend at MAF that moves you from a beginning Maffetoner to an intermediate Maffetoner. There is no specific pace that moves you from a hobby jogger to a professional OTQ jogger. So how do I distinguish the difference? Where is that line? Intermediate problems or mistakes are mistakes that could not possibly be made by a beginning Maffetoner. For example, mistake number 1. Not running at the bottom or below your MAF, MAF. This is what mistake number 1 looks like in real life. You start your Maffetone journey at a pace about somewhere between 10 and 11 minutes. You grow your mileage responsibly from around 50 miles eventually to 66. So maybe 50 the first week, 55 the second week, 60 the third week, 66 the fourth week, and then naturally a scale back week. Time permitting, your body can handle this because you're running 11-minute miles. You run roughly the same amount of mileage for a second month and your pace at MAF drops all the way down to 9 minutes a mile. You then decided to sprinkle in some speed work. Your pace at MAF drops to 8 minutes and 40 seconds. After another block, your pace drops down to 8:15 and then all the way down to 8 minutes a mile. 8 minutes a mile? Are you kidding me? You are on fire for the Maffetone method. You are ecstatic. Every single run, you are listening to the Extra Mileless podcast by Flores Gearman. Every single run, you are running at the top end of your MAF. You even decide to run 130 miles in 10 days to see if you can get that pace to drop. You get hurt. You get injured. You get the shin splints. So why is this not a beginner problem? Because in the beginning, you really only have one running gear at MAF, and that looks like a jog, a shuffle around your neighborhood, maybe you're walking up some hills. Like, I don't even know what it would look like to run below your MAF as a beginner. Typing 190 words a minute, eating too fast. Once you hit that second wave, once you hit that intermediate level, you may find that you have many easy gears. You may be able to run recovery easy, like for me it would be 10.5 minute pace. You may find just regular easy pace of like maybe 9 minutes. And then also a steezy, like a steady easy pace, like an 8:15 to an 8 minutes. So there are more gears in range in the intermediate Maffetone level. To avoid this mistake, what I needed to do was run in one of those other gears below my MAF or at the very bottom end range of my MAF many times a week. So I actually build my aerobic base building periods like an 80-20 plan. And so instead of the 20% speed work, it's 20% on the top end of my MAF. And the rest is just easy, middle MAF at the bottom or below it. So if in an 80-20 plan, you do speed work on Tuesdays, threshold on Thursday, maybe incorporate it in the long run a little bit on the weekend, that's when I do the top end MAF, and the rest of it is all at the bottom or below. Mistake number 2, not being able to spot progress. Look, in the beginning, we are shaving off tons of time, 15 to 20 seconds every few weeks. We might shave off a minute after just a couple of months of running. But after a while, the gains become more marginal. So let's say your MAF test was an 8:38 1 month, and then the next month it goes down to an 8:35. And you may think, I'm not really making any progress. I guess it's time to throw in some speed work. Maybe. Maybe not. Look, I know for me in the beginning, there was probably about a minute difference between mile 1 and mile 5. After a couple months, it might have been 30 seconds, but it was still there. Cut to me going 8:38 and an 8:35 on my MAF tests. The same week I did the 8:35, I ran a 20 miler and I paid attention. After 5 miles, my pace was an 8:35. After 10 miles, it was an 8:35. After 15 miles, it was still at an 8:35. And that's when the cardiac drift settled in, and I ended up the 20 miler with an 8:41. I'm not looking at just the progress from how fast. Is it dropping from an 8:40 to an 8:20? I'm also looking at how long can my heart sustain the low heart rate over the course of time. Can I hold that same low heart rate for an extended period of time? In that case, 2 hours and close to 15 minutes. On a related note, if you're still watching this video, Floris Gearman did a video on why he does a 2-hour MAF test. I'll put that in the description below. It is more in-depth and informative. All right, pro tips. Pro tips. You know the drill. Support your running community. Do something violent to that like button. Sub if you want or don't. I don't know. God gave us free will. You do you. I'll just be here making videos. Pro tip number 1. Check the dew point. Yeah, you heard me. Check the dew point. It's not the humidity that gets you, it's the dew point. Especially if you live in a hot, warmer, or humid climate, definitely check the dew point. I'll put up a chart here on the screen as you can see the different ranges between 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, oppressive humidity. And the impact this has on the body is really significant, especially as it pertains to the heart rate. So as you may know, as your body sweats, because of the humidity and the dew point, the sweat stays on your body, thus causing your body temperature to rise, making your heart have to beat faster and work harder to try to cool you down. What it looks like when you run is that maybe mile 1 looks really decent, like it would, because you're not sweating a whole lot yet. But by mile 5, the heart rate will have dropped off. Your pace at that heart rate will have dropped off. It is inevitable. So, pro tip, similar to if you were in a race condition, if it's humid out, you would drop out your PB chance or your PB pace. Let go of the result and just run easy and enjoy the ride. Pro tip number 2. Pro tip. Please check out the first video on beginner mistakes right here. Yeah, I tricked you. And comment below, let me know what your mistakes are so I can make more Maffetone videos, because I want to help you Maffetone. Thanks for watching.